You are listening to the We Hired a Sitter for This podcast.
We hired a sitter for this.
We have a roster of like 7 sitters.
I'm spending $3,000 on paints.
Do you go to therapy?
Never have, nah.
There was a small fire. I put it out.
Real talk, the stakes are too high with my baby.
Comedy, parenting, married, life.
We do it all.
I'm a dad and I'm busy.
I have an opinion. I don't know if it'll be right, but
I'm Patrick.
my name is Gastor.
We hired a sitter.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 163 of We Hired a Sitter for This. My name is Patrick Holbert.
My name is Gastor Almonte.
And he's doing sign language. What was that sign language?
I was trying to do the
163?
numbers initially, but I realized I didn't know the numbers, and then when you said 163, I tried to backtrack into doing them, and here we are.
I like it.
We
Maybe
run a tight ship, baby.
whatever signals you just made with your hands, let's make that the official sign of the podcast. So if we co-headline in your town and you want to let us know you're a fan, give us those digits.
I like it. Amen.
By the way, you got any people in Wisconsin or Chicago?
Not at all. No.
You ever perform there?
No. I have to do that too. I want to get to Chi-Town.
Yeah, I'm trying to put a week together. I'm doing a college in Wisconsin on March 4th. It's like a morning lunchtime show.
Dope.
And last winter I did that same area, but I had like 4 of them lined up. So we're trying to lock in the other schools to do it again. And I'm trying to do a bunch of shows in Milwaukee and Chicago. So if I get more of those,
That's awesome.
maybe we just force a co-headlining week and we'll just do some crazy... We'll just book our own gigs.
I'm so down. Hell
So
yeah.
if
I'd
you're
love
in
to get out there.
Chicago or Milwaukee area, they're just a couple hours apart. Help us out. Contact us, and let's make something happen.
Real talk.
This is not the topic. I told Gastor, I was like, I got a topic. I'll just start us off, and we'll see where this podcast goes.
Yep.
I wanted to ask you.
Show logistics. That's what we're doing.
So this
Long show.
this episode is coming out on like November 20th.
Okay.
I think this will be November 20th when this comes out. So baseball season is long gone, but you got your Yankees hat on.
Amen. I'm holding on, baby.
I saw that you attended Game 5 of the series.
It was game 3.
And did your dad bring you? Did you go with your
No,
pops?
no. So
Okay.
I'll tell the whole situation.
Yeah.
So my uncle, my cousin. I don't know if I should say his name because Dominicans have a lot of cousins, and if I say his name, I'm giving away the fact that he gave me the tickets and not someone else.
Don't throw him under the bus.
Yeah, I don't want to get people mad. But in a nutshell, yo, shouts to you though. Appreciate you, fam.
Hey, guy. Thank you.
Real talk.
Cuz.
Nah, but like in a nutshell, one of my cousins was flipping tickets. You know what I
So
mean?
what does that mean? Buying
Like,
a ticket,
he bought a
selling
bunch
them
of
on
tickets. He was gonna
StubHub.
sell them.
That's a lot of upfront World Series tickets?
Real talk.
What are we talking? Like he's spending like 20 grand on a few tickets?
It was some bread. It was some bread. I ain't gonna put his pockets out there, but it was some
But
bread.
he made money? He did good?
I'm not putting his info out there again. You know what I mean? I just
Maybe
know,
we should say this is just a guy you know, not even
real
a
talk.
relative.
Yeah, B.
Cousin in like the colloquial sense.
Yeah,
He's
real
just-
talk. He fam. He's
Yeah.
the homie. You know what I mean?
Is it you? Are we talking about you?
Cousin named Gastor Jr. You know what I mean? Nah, but like, I don't even think that was his initial intent. I think they were gonna come up here and they couldn't make it out, so they ended
Okay,
up
so he
trying
doesn't
to
live
flip
in
the
New York
tickets.
City. He
Yeah,
doesn't live in New York. Okay.
That's still like 150 cousins, so like,
Okay.
that's fine. You ain't getting nowhere near this, but nah, like they had some tickets and they had them up for listing, and during the middle of the day they hit me up. If I don't sell these, would you want to go to the game? And I'm like, yes, of course. It just so happened to be that I haven't mentioned this much on podcasts. I brought it up in on the other pod with Sha, but this was my dad has been dealing with cancer treatments.
Right.
This was my dad's last day on chemo.
Oh, wow.
So I told him, I was like, yo, like fun fact, I'm actually going out to celebrate anyway with Pops. It's like his last day. And he was like, oh, forget it. And he took them off the listing. He said, tickets are yours.
Wow.
Which was really like incredibly kind of him. And he's similar dynamic too, in the sense that, I mean, obviously I have siblings now, but I grew up without siblings. He's an only child as well. So like the rest of the fam all have a ton of siblings.
Yeah.
So me and him just always clicked it. But yeah, showed a lot of love, and again, I'm super thankful for it. And because of that, I got to invite Dad to see a World Series game.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So yeah, like we had a great time out there. it was incredibly like beautiful just to kind of see him in good spirits, because like we don't know the results yet,
Right.
of how everything went. We'll know that in the next few weeks, but it's done. Like he got through this thing that he saw that not everybody makes it through the treatment.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, like he was very like in good spirits of like, not only did I finish it, I feel okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just a beautiful day. My dad is the person that took me to my first Yankee game, to my first
Oh, that's
baseball game.
beautiful.
Yeah, like genuinely, like it moved me to be able to like watch a World Series game with him.
Did they win that night?
They did not. They lost, and you know that.
But it
happens.
wasn't the elimination game.
Yeah, it was not. It was the next day they won, and unfortunately, the day after that we had what was looking like a great day until the fifth inning.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. It didn't work out.
It did not work out. But yeah, like
what was it? That was a 5-0 lead that got blown away.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough.
But yeah, so you go to the game with your dad. Did the cousin go, or was it just the two of you?
He's not in the area, so
I
he
see.
just gave us his tickets. But yeah, so it was just like a day of me and dad, and that was just beautiful.
Yeah,
I went through, and that even like again, I felt like a jerk to Gabby, because like I was initially like, yo, I might be getting this. I was like, yo, actually, would you mind if I don't take you?
right.
And
right. I mean,
and then,
finishing chemotherapy trumps
I think that trumps
all,
that, right?
Yeah.
So she's dope. So she like instantly like knew, like she was like, yeah, that makes sense. Of course, do that. But like still, like I was messed up by even like saying it the other way first, because initially she is my partner. That's who I want to do these things with.
Yeah.
But I was like, nah, like I got to do this with Pops, and she was happy about it. But I do know in some weird way I owe her something now.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, I assume you got her the flowers already to make up for it.
I'm pretty good for that. But yeah, it was just a dope day. We went to the game, and he just shared a bunch of like fun stories with me, like we always do whenever we hang out.
That's great.
And he took a bunch of business calls, because that's who he is. And it was just a good hang. Like sincerely, just like a fun time to kind of be in this space that it's one of the few things that me and him share only. Like almost everything else that he's involved in when I was growing up, it was like a family thing.
Yeah.
So like baseball is one of the few things that's like me and Pop time.
You ever watch John Boy Media videos?
No.
He's like a baseball critic, social commentator on Instagram. He does a lot of lip reading. Like he'll read the lips of like what the refs are saying or the umps are saying, what the argument is. He's great. Great analysis videos, really entertaining stuff. And he was on Ari Shafir's podcast when I was editing that podcast, and he said this profound thing about baseball that I never considered. Like people criticize baseball for how slow it is and how it's like kind of boring to go to live especially if you don't know the game. Like real men, we know how to appreciate baseball because we know what's going on. We know the rules. We know how the tension builds, all that good stuff, right? But he made the point that like baseball is the perfect sport for fathers and sons because you're sitting there and there is so many lulls in the action that you're kind of forced to talk to your dad.
Yeah.
And it forces male bonding. And that's like such a beautiful, profound thing that I never even considered. So I love that you got to have that night with your dad and on like help him have like a victory lap around completing chemo. Like that's such a cool memory to have.
Yeah, real talk, man. It like meant a lot to me. Like it was beautiful. And like we just like got nostalgic about like the first time we went to a game. He used to like own a bodega, so like vendors would like on occasion give you tickets.
Yeah.
For like space in the store. So he got these tickets. We go to a Yankee game, and the first time we're from Brooklyn. We take these trains into the Bronx. And the game gets rained out.
Yeah.
So we can't see the game. And like everything is like physical at that point. So he has to go to the ticket booth.
Yeah.
They give him the rain check tickets.
That's hilarious.
And it's for the next day. And he's like, y'all own a bodega. Like I can't just be like not there.
Right.
So he had to like call in favors. Now a double favor because now he needs not only the next day again, but it's a double header. So he's gonna be gone like the whole day.
Yeah.
So he doesn't tell me that until now. Like at the time, I was just like, I just know we're going on to the game tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know. So we pull up and we spend the whole day in Yankee Stadium, and the whole era is different. So like,
how old do you think you are at the time?
Man, I'm thinking like 6.
Wow.
Like 6, 7 in that ballpark.
Yeah.
And like, what was cool about it is these are not things that are possible anymore.
Yeah.
But we showed up with a whole cooler.
Yeah, yeah.
He made like 4 or 5 sandwiches at the bodega.
Yeah.
We coolered that shit to the Bronx. Then we got there early so we could buy like local Chinese food.
Uh-huh.
And we had like 4 orders of like 4 chicken wings, fried rice, beef and broccolis.
That's amazing.
And we just spent the whole day just like being a mini bodega.
Yeah.
At our stoop. Like people were buying chips from us.
That's hilarious.
And like we're eating sandwiches and like he's like, the only thing we got to buy is like drinks.
Yeah.
But we had a blast, and to this day I do not know who played.
I was trying to think. Don Mattingly must have been on the team.
Yes, and he was my favorite player back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a doubleheader. No idea who played. I just know I got to listen to my dad talk like regular dude.
Right.
And I got to watch him like interact with other people in the area. And it was just fun to see him not stressed out about something.
Right.
So yeah, I got to do that again now. And it was cool to kind of understand what was being said now as an adult versus, as a kid. But yeah, it was fire. I had a blast.
That's great. That's such a cool thing, man. And what got me thinking about this was your Yankee hat. You said this is not a new hat, but it's so fresh. So have you ever washed this? I wanted to pick your brain about the mechanics and the reality of washing hats. Can they? Because mine just start to stink after a while.
Yeah,
you can get that out of there.
So yes, but there's preemptive stuff you have to do to hats. So like there's certain sprays that help to keep the stiffness of it. Okay. So the structure stays right. You need structural integrity. That's big for me. I don't like curves in my hats, and I don't like this part of my hat changing. Yeah. I also buy very specific hats. There's a New Era fitted. I believe it's the 5950.
And is this what the league wears?
Yes.
Okay.
So New Era makes like 4 different cuts of their hats, and what ends up changing is both the size of the top part here, the front of the hat, the brim changes, and the brim changes both in length forward and in width. Okay. And all of that changes how A, it sits on your head, and B, how long it stays firm, like the life of the hat, because there's more like cardboard material to hold it in place. Yeah. So then as soon as I get a hat, I spray it with this stuff that helps keep it stiff. And then I put like an inside material inside the brim on all my white and green inside hats so that my sweat doesn't stain them. Yeah. And then I clean them out after I wear them for a week. So like I don't wait until it gets stinky is my point. Yeah. Like I'm preemptively doing it. So I have like a day once a week where like I spend like an hour and I go through that week's hats and sneakers.
Yeah. Tops and bottoms.
Yeah.
I love it.
I got like the little brushes.
I wanted to say, do you have a caddy with like the different tools and sprays?
I got a shoebox with all the stuff.
Yeah. I love it. We gotta dig into this sometime. Make a how-to video.
And then all of my hats, I keep them in plastic bags. And all of my sneakers are back in their boxes, so like they don't get dust on them. Yeah, you know what I mean, and like all of that stuff because they get yellow over time too if you got like whiter or lighter color hats.
I just wear this work hat just to keep my hair out of my eyes. And before I had this hat, it was a hat that I stole from Ross. It had these cool colors on it. I really liked this hat. It started to get smelly in the brim, and then I flipped the brim out, and I saw it was like foam material. And I'm like, if I wash this, that foam is probably just going to get all weird and start to get like crispy and gross and like rotten or whatever. So I was like, I'll just ride this till the wheels fall off. And then one day we're leaving the public pool in Bed-Stuy, and I hung the hat up on a fence while I was like getting Franny in the car and doing a bunch of stuff with all our stuff or whatever. Yeah. And I drove off with the hat still on the fence, and I left the hat. But I love this hat because it was just like I said, it's more for me. It's the hair thing. I don't feel like cutting my hair. I just want to cover it, you know? Okay. Anyway, hours go by, and I drive back to see if the hat's still there because I'm like, surely nobody's going to take someone else's hat. Like, I would never take a hat from the street and wear it on my head, you know? But it was gone.
Yeah, yo. I was going to say, it depends on the hat.
Gone. It was a cool looking hat. I don't think you would wear it, but it was, I mean, you probably saw me wearing this hat at some point, but I was like, damn, it was starting to get funky too, and I can't believe somebody would want to take that.
But they could clean it. There's like, and that's the other reason I'm so careful with them. So like, This one, not so much. It's like it's a pretty outside of like the emblem for. I believe this is the Little League one.
Yeah, it says Little League Classic 2024.
So yeah, like even this one's kind of like a rare hat, but like essentially there's some hats that are like New Era puts out one of one, like they'll never put them out again.
Yeah.
So I like keep them clean because I want to keep them in the rotation. If
Let's
let's
talk numbers. How many hats you got?
Right now, not that many, maybe like 40. Like, I'm so sincere.
I literally have 40 of nothing. I have nothing I like or love. I don't have 40 of. It's actually crazy.
Okay.
Like the older I get and the more of a dad I am, and like in this apartment, this 1-bedroom apartment, I'm like, what else of mine can I get rid of? And I'm like starting to feel like I'm just like a monk. Like I need like 3 flannels and like 5 t-shirts.
Hey, you're good.
And like 10 boxers and 3 pairs of jeans, and the rest I think I'll just get rid of because my wife and my daughter live here.
Amen.
And I just do like a service job here or something, you know. Like I guess I would like to have a better repertoire of sneakers.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get into cool socks.
Okay.
I'm trying to get into some cool socks just to spice up my life a little bit.
You need something, man.
40 hats. 40, not that many. Just 40.
I had a lot more before. Like when I lived with my parents, but I was still an adult.
Yeah.
All of my income went to like fashion stuff.
Yeah.
Realistically, like fashion and like vinyl.
Yeah,
so like I had at my peak I had maybe like 15,000 records, and I had maybe like 300 pair of sneakers and boots, and I probably had
300.
Like about 150, 200 hats.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
Just because like I would buy everything as a set. So I'd go out, I'd get a hat, and I would only get the hat if I knew I had shoes to match it.
Yeah.
You know, so like it had to be like, otherwise I know I'd never wear either or.
What's the quantity of shoes right now?
I'm significantly down. I'm probably to like 40, 30 in that ballpark.
Yeah.
Most of them are the same sneaker in different colors. There's a Penny Hardaway #2. I have a lot of that. I have a lot of Griffies and a lot of Air Maxes.
Yeah.
But they're essentially like the same like 3 sneakers in a lot of colors.
Yeah.
And then I have like random one-offs. Like there was a Diodora sneaker that came out that had all the different they had a different one for every Rocky villain. So I got
that's fun.
the ones with Ivan Drago. I thought that was cool.
Are they high tops?
No, they're low tops.
Wow, I can't even picture in a low top.
Yeah, I wear them quite a bit, but it's just that, you know, it just depends on if I'm in that mode.
I feel like you're the kind of person I will never in my life see barefoot.
That is pretty this whole take your shoe off shit inside your house that people started.
Yeah.
Like, yo, we live in Brooklyn,
which by the way is never necessary. Like you don't ever have to do that here.
I do it here because I want to know that like I can. Like I'm building up the muscle for places where I know I'm forced to. You know? But like I understand it if you live in different places, but like in New York, like I feel like yo, we're too close to the stuff that's dirty.
Yeah, we're
like,
in it.
We're in it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way you're telling me you're keeping it out there. Like, you're here.
Yeah.
Your apartment is in the thing.
We have an animal.
Yeah.
We have a child. Like, it's
just part of it. It is what it is. You got to accept it. Clean often, but like, you're stepping on something that's been outside already.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
No, I never liked the shoes off rule. I like it. Like, there are places I want to do shoes off because I want to be comfortable. I want to I want to sit on the floor. I want to sit crisscross applesauce.
I'm with you.
Get cozy. But then there are places where like I don't know, how do I want to talk about this? I guess I'll just say I have a client. When I go to his house, I wish I had a hazmat suit. Like I don't want anything touching anything in this person's home.
Amen.
And thank God last time I saw him, all he wanted to do was talk outside and take his dog on a very long walk. And I was like, this is great. Let's not go in there.
Maybe that's progress.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think having, like, I wear Dickies. I've talked about that. Like, and like, I like the uniform aspect of it.
Yeah.
But I do think everyone needs something to express themselves, especially like artists. I think
Yeah.
it comes out in some way. So like, yeah, why not have it be a controlled thing so that it's not like, random unchecked spending, right?
Yeah.
For me, like I know I'm a splurge on a hat once a month.
Hats and sneakers,
And
yeah.
sneakers,
That's cool.
Like, the sneakers and parts, and that's part of why I also take care of them so that I'm not just buying a new one all the time.
Right.
You know, they last for a bit. So
Yeah.
I have a pair of Griffies that I've had legit 20 years. Same with pennies.
Wow.
I've had pennies that like.
Do you ever wear them to special occasions?
Yeah.
You're like, okay, this is a big night. I'm going to wear the Ken Griffey Juniors.
Yeah. Like I have a pair of they're not fashionable anymore as Doc Carter's, but I have them because they were a Yankee limited edition, so I would wear them off in the games. But those sneakers got to be pushing 25 years.
What will it take? When will you start gifting some of these to Aiden?
He could wear them. I'd be okay with that now.
He
I
must
wasn't
have
before.
Big
but
feet. He
he's
seems
up
like
there.
a tall kid.
Yeah. I think he's 5'9" now.
Wow.
So he's still shorter than me, but he's getting there.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a size I want to say 10 at this point. So he's at a point to where like it would still be smaller, but like he could wear them. And he's careful enough finally that I'd be okay with it. But I know that there would be damage done.
Yeah.
But
while we're on the topic of fashion, I got to shout out one of our podcasting compatriots, a self-described fan of our podcast.
Oh, it's got to be Mike.
Mike Wynn, yeah. I bumped into him in downtown Brooklyn recently. Had to say hello. I love what he's doing on Instagram. So if you're a fan of fashion or comedy, check out Nice Pants Bro on Instagram.
I love it.
He posts these great little videos and just images and like breaks down what he appreciates about somebody's style choices. And I told her, I was like, I really think Ross and I talked about this years ago. I remember going to open mics, and this is how much my wife loves me. She would sometimes go to open mics with me to just like hang out. She would hang out, and then we'd go do something, maybe 10 times in our whole, like maybe 5 times. I don't know how many times.
That's a lot, bro.
Or I guess shows too. Anyway, and we would joke about people who just like clearly didn't know what they were doing with how they're putting themselves together, because she works in fashion. And I said it would be a brilliant like web series to do some kind of a stand-up fashion challenge, like 3 comics perform. You shoot them performing on a night as themselves. And maybe they're struggling with like their material or their presentation or whatever. They have some kind of confidence gap. Then she takes them out, takes them shopping, helps them get their style together, makes a look fit their onstage persona and character and material. Then you shoot them, go do another set and see if how they look change the way they feel, like a regular makeover show.
Okay.
And I think that would be great. And Ross is funny, but she hates production. So I was saying to Mike when we were chatting, I was like, I think there's something there that you should do, like he should do it. Or I was like, honestly, I would help you do it if I had, I don't have any fucking time. But I think he would be so good as a presenter for that, or a host or whatever, or a judge. I don't know where he would fit in the whole thing, but how cool would that be?
I love that.
Don't you think that's a good idea?
I think that's great. Why haven't you done it?
I think this is going to bring up all my personal issues, is that if I were to go down that road, it just pushes me so much closer to full on producer, director guy and not comic guy.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because something like that, to do it right, I guess
it's got to be your thing.
And to pitch it, like to the whole process would be, I would happily do like a one-off, like with us and Mike or something like that. I think that would be a funny episode of something. But to try to make a whole thing, it's just like it would take over your life,
Yeah.
And I like fashion, but I'm not obsessed with it. Like if I was obsessed with it and it was like that's my thing, I don't know. But anyway. Long way of saying, hi, Mike. Thanks for listening.
Real talk.
He says he listens.
He's one of the, he might be the most fashion inclined man I know that isn't in like that isn't dressing overly hip hop.
Yeah.
Like most of the guys I know that are fashionable are hip hop people that like I either grew up with or that's their thing. He has a very different look that I think is fire, and I appreciate. It reminds me of what I think of with good stand up.
Yeah.
That it is him.
Yes.
Like I can't pull off that look. It is Mike outfit.
Yeah.
I think that's like fire about what he does fashion wise. That like this is a look that only he pulls off, and I need him to explain the process, but when I see it, it makes sense together.
Yeah. Yeah. Ross, thank God for her too. She has to like very simply explain things to me about clothes, and I'm like, oh yeah, like I get why that makes sense. Cause I get so stuck in like, well, this is what I think looks okay or whatever. And
Right.
yeah, he does a great job of like, yeah, being himself and communicating like what a thing even is. You know what I mean? Like I don't even understand half of this stuff. I also didn't know I guess him and I were friendly. For like
The Mike Patrick beef, it comes out.
No. What I was gonna say is I had no idea. I don't. Maybe I knew he was a parent.
Yeah, he's a papa.
But I don't know. I didn't think I realized that, and I also didn't know he's a papa times 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think he has like a relatively new addition,
And
like
I'm just
a couple
like,
months old.
yeah,
so,
and I'm like, damn, how is anybody doing anything?
real
Like,
talk. I don't know how you get stand up done anymore, man.
yeah, I get.
We're parenting out here.
I get so I feel like I do a lot of whining about how hard it is, and I love it. Like I'm obsessed with my kid, and she's like at the moment obsessed with me, and that feels amazing, and I love bonding with her. But it has been hard, and I think I probably whined too much about it, but when he was like, yeah, I got a 2-month-old, I was like, dude, I cannot imagine.
Real talk.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what y'all doing anymore. I'm done with that. Like Gabby and I will never hit the reset button.
Yeah.
We're so far into it.
Yeah.
We can see the other side. We ain't starting over.
No.
And we got friends starting like right now.
You should take measures.
Real talk.
I mean, because you hear about it all the time. People.
We on the other side of this, baby.
But I'm saying take medical measures.
Yeah. No, we there.
Okay. All right.
We there.
All right.
It's not happening.
I don't want to blow anybody's cover, but
not going down.
Yeah. You're so
4 years away.
So yeah, you're close to them getting out, but also like today is election day in New York. School is out of session, so all the kids are out. Your kids are old enough to be home unsupervised, I assume.
Straight up, they
or
chilling.
whatever they're doing. I got my kid. We sent her back to nature camp for the day. Nature camp is still in session.
It never closes because it never opens because it's not a thing. There's no walls.
Well, now it's
Patrick is ignoring his child right now.
Yeah.
That's all he's doing. He said, "Go outside. I got a pot."
She's at the Wildflower School. That's what it's called. Yeah, because election day they get off. She had off on Friday for Diwali. She's got off on this Thursday for parent-teacher conferences. So she goes for a couple hours and then she's off for the day. Next week, Veterans Day on Monday. Respect to the veterans, but I never had off on Veterans Day. Did you?
I felt like that was a thing already for us.
Was it?
No?
Anyway, I'm just like, what's with these 4-day weeks?
Yo.
I say send these kids to school 7 days a week. If we want to keep up with China, we need 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. classes 7 days a week.
Yo.
Let's just ram the STEM down their throats. Science, tech,
engineering,
and math. Let's do the full STEM. Let's cut arts programs. Let's make these robots of the future. Let's make the AI. Let's put AI in our kids' heads so that I can just podcast with my friend.
Amen. That's what we want. It's the future. I got one of each actually. So I got a STEM kid. I got an art kid.
Yeah.
So I'm rooting for both of them. But yeah, that's dope. I don't got to worry about leaving them with random people. They're just fine.
She's climbing a tree right now. She's happy.
Oh, there she go.
Yeah. She is fully feral at the moment. Like she is a climber. Like she's this close to doing monkey bars by herself.
Oh hell yeah!
And I'm just like I'm watching her. I'm like she's a machine.
That's
I'm
awesome.
like I'm inspired by her. She's not doing lateral monkey bars, but she will. she's on something that has bars like a ladder, she'll go down without her feet.
Okay.
Like just like Terminator, like T-3000 type looking shit. And I'm like, this kid is scary.
When I see stuff like that, man, I got a little sad when I saw like how athletic my kid was, and I knew that through no decisions of their own, certain things would never be a possibility for them.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah.
For example, like, I don't care how many backflips you could do. If you're like, there was no way that like my kid was going to be a gymnast. Like,
yeah. If you're above like 5'3" or whatever.
Like you're too tall. You're in Brooklyn. You're like, Dominicans don't know of that culture.
Yeah.
Like they're like, I wouldn't have known until it was too late.
Yeah.
What resources to go through. Or like another thing that I always thought of was like, I knew a ton of kids that could drive. No one from my hood is doing NASCAR.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? It's just, like, that's just not a sport you pick up if you grow up in New York.
Yeah.
Like in the city anyway, you know what I mean? And like, I'm sure there's kids from here that are talented enough to do that. But just because of the luck of being born here, that option didn't exist.
I mean, Irving Avenue right over here, people treat like a drag strip all the time.
Straight
and
up.
I don't think they're going to make it to the Indy 500.
Real talk. And I see them with the ATVs. They're doing crazy work.
Yeah.
Real talk.
Yeah.
But it's never going to happen. And honestly, it makes me a little sad. It's like, damn, be like, in another, like, if like certain things in life landed different, like, yo, you might be a legend. Like, you and Jeff Gordon kicking it. You know what I mean?
I got a new pitch. Hey, I was just talking about a fashion reality show. I think we should be doing inner city motorsports racing league.
Ooh.
Let's get all the dirt bike guys, the ATV guys. Let's put them in a huge contest and see what kind of crazy shit we could do.
Amen.
Get the delivery guys with the mopeds involved. The moped delivery guys that never put their feet on the pegs.
Yo.
They're just always going full straddle with their feet like waving in the wind, going 40 miles an hour, delivering McDonald's to an Uber Eats customer. I'm like, put your feet on the scooter.
Risking an ACL for a slice, yo.
Yeah, that's me and Ross's biggest pet peeve, those guys with just the feet dangling. I'm like, that it's harder to ride like that. I guess it's not.
It's not. Yeah, they figured it out, bro.
But yeah, we'll get occasional mobs of ATVs coming by on Knickerbocker right here because it's just like the cruise.
Yeah,
the cruise
and you can't arrest like 40 people. It is what it is. Like they'll split up. They're faster than the cars. But like that's like energy that tells me there is a talent here and a want for that. But there's no direct correlation.
We need a
of how to
scholarship.
channel that. Yeah. And like, you know, if you grow up in Middle America or out west, you could like do what do you call that? The one with where you build it yourself for kids. They build like those little go-kart.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like we don't have an equivalent of that is culturally acceptable and safe on the East Coast.
I actually shot a pitch tape about a family in my hometown upstate who the parents made a lot of money doing like concrete business, and they, for fun, got their kid involved with dirt track racing.
Okay.
And it's a several $1,000s a week commitment. Like the car itself is like it's like a real size car, but it's same thing, custom made.
Yeah.
It's like a go-kart. Tens of thousands of dollars put into that, and they don't have just one. It's like multiple cars because you crash one, you got to like use the other one. Anyway, it's like probably millions of dollars worth of effort to get this like when I met them, when I shot with them, I think he was 12, and he's like racing. He was sort of a phenom, I guess, and it is hard to not be like, well, what would it take for somebody without those means to get good at a sport like this? And, it's just like they don't get to even try.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's interesting. And that's the beginning. Like his dream, of course, was to get into NASCAR. And then after that, it's like down south, there's all these little racing leagues. And I think he did go down there to do some of those. And there's so many levels before these people get to NASCAR. And it's like crazy what it would take to even get there.
Yeah, B. We need some of that. We need a version of that over here.
Yeah.
And it's not just New York. Like there's cities like I would assume if you're in Philly, you don't have an equivalent of this. You know what I mean? Like the DC, there's certain East Coast cities that I think there's a lack of those things or the equivalent of that like would get that energy out.
Yeah.
And in turn, they all have all of those places have like a weird illegal bike culture.
Yes.
Because of it. You know what I mean? We got the ATV thing in New York.
The 5 o'clock
Philly has
boys.
a lot of, like it just is. It is what it is.
Is
like,
that what it was? There's a documentary in Baltimore. I think it was 5 o'clock boys or something like that. It was about these this whole biker gang ATV crew.
Yeah.
It was great. It was like beautifully shot and like really, really interesting.
Yeah, Baltimore's heavy on that. I know Philly's big on it. Like a lot of people was shouting out the Creed movies because they actually showed it a bit.
Okay.
The bike culture of Philadelphia, and like it's fire that like that it's getting recognized now. But like that is a talent pool that is going untapped.
Yeah.
In terms of like being able to race and drive, that like it just doesn't get used.
Yeah, how do we exploit that?
Real talk, you know what I mean?
Well, how do we get out there and yeah.
You know, and it ends up
there's
being
something
like
there.
UPS ends up hiring all of them, and that's cool, but that's not the dream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I do wonder what things Franny will get interested in that her physicality will just preclude her from. Like, I think she is going to be very tall, so gym is out.
And so that's
you,
the thing.
You
like,
talked to me about rowing.
Yeah, like I can live with rowing is a good one because you
Yeah.
can get the scholarships. But like the thing is, like there's some of them that she's not going to get into, and it's going to be your fault.
Yeah.
That's what messes with me. That like you made a decision, you made decisions already.
Yeah.
That like have eliminated her options already. From that.
Yeah.
There's stuff that you've done that because of that she will never be.
Right. Well, friends of ours recently were sharing that they are bringing their kid to do skiing lessons, or they did do skiing lessons already with her. She's like, when she was 3.
Right.
And we like skiing and snowboarding, but we don't do it a lot. We go like maybe once every 2 years. But I had this moment, I was saying to Ross, I was like, that would be fun if that was like a thing we did. But this couple's talking about going up weekly, like every weekend to go up, get her on the mountain. I think maybe they're going to a closer one in Jersey. And I'm just like, I'm thinking like, well, we don't have the money for that.
Right.
All the gear she'll grow out of annually.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, if we would want to go down that road of her being like a competitive skier or whatever, it would have to start now.
Yeah, literally.
And that's crazy.
Like I've read like something that made me kind of sad recently is I know for a fact my son will never play a sport.
Yeah.
Like that opportunity of him being a pro anything is gone.
Yeah.
And it's mostly based on like decisions me and Gabby made.
Yeah.
In terms of like the group activities we encouraged when they were younger. We had a big argument about football and like ended up deciding to be safer with that. Only thing we ended up trying was baseball, and my parents took the lead on that. He didn't really enjoy it initially.
Yeah.
But like there's sports that like he might get into, and like he is starting to show an inclination to want to be more physically active. I see him doing pull-ups. And he likes biking. But like I don't know that world.
Yeah.
And because of the other interests he showed, mainly being like science things in school, we put him in a school that's the agenda.
Right.
And like they don't got a team for most of the regular sports.
They don't have a football team, but they have a robotics team.
Right, exactly. So like that's cool.
Yeah.
But like if you like that's a hard pivot.
Yeah.
Like we can't go that way anymore. That's gone.
And when I was in high school, the football team are giving those other people wedgies.
That's not an option. Ain't in school, the robotics kids are the bullies.
Yeah,
like, those are the tough guys.
They're the cool guys. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yo, and I think exactly. I do think that's dope. Like he is in that kind of space where like everybody like is nerd culture.
Yeah.
But like it kind of hit me that like there was certain things because I was really adamant to both of them that they each joined 2 clubs.
Yeah.
And one of them could be a mental thing, but one of them had to be an athletic thing.
Yeah.
And we went through the list together. I was like, yo, handball? Like I was down to like 4 sports.
Yeah.
That like I knew that like he's like, what's this? I was like, little man, I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
But yeah, join it. You know what I mean? So yeah, like it hit me that like, yo, like we're at a place now where like certain things are off the table already.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like for example, you and I, theoretically we could, but we've already made enough choices where like we're not president.
Yeah.
Like I think that's clearly off the table.
It's not
right.
It's not in the cards.
I am. I have talked about this in the pod. Economically, this has been the worst year of stand up, and I've considered getting regular employment again. And I've been like, thankfully, like figuring that out. But like, it hit me hard because all of the like, you fucked up your life, so do this jobs. Yeah, I've aged out of them. Right. I can't be a cop. I can't be a fireman. I can't go into the service. Because even they're like, nah, you too old now. Right. You know, so like, yo, I've made choices that like, this is a thing. Like, you are on a trajectory, bro. Yeah. You know?
Like, I am on the fast track to becoming a Walmart greeter in my 60s.
Yo!
That's what that's all I want to do.
Greeter? I'm in the warehouse, baby.
I'm moving back upstate. I am getting that greeter job. I'm getting to know the community.
Real talk. I'm pushing the forklift. I'm getting the stuff in the back that you want.
I might not be the president of the United States, but I will be the president of that store location.
Amen. And I will hide all the cool stuff for my friends to buy on Black Friday.
Oh, yeah. I do think about that. Like, I have not secured a long-term retirement plan of any real kind. You know what I mean? Like, I'm 43. I remember very clearly when I was 23, 20 years ago. So in 20 more years, I'll be 63. Like, am I going to still be editing fucking podcast clips?
This TikTok is trash. At 63 is wild,
like,
yo.
Am I still gonna be like a middling wannabe comedian making other projects for other more successful comedians?
Yo.
Like, is that the long-term career trajectory?
Hey, man, and then to be clear, that's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just like, what is the...
But what is it?
What is the financial security, you know?
Yeah, man. This has been a depressing episode, baby. Hell yeah. You ain't know who's going to take that pivot.
I can't remember if you told me about this on the record or not, but any updates on job stuff?
No. I got a plug in terms of like hook up through family where like I'm able to do some office work through one of their businesses.
Man, your family, this network of cousins and tias, it's like a fraternity. Like, this is the retirement plan.
Real talk, man. This Latino dreams is real. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now, I mean, I'm blessed that like my family has been incredibly hardworking and like has made the most of their opportunities here, and in turn, they're able to bail out their nieces and nephews whenever they do stupid stuff.
Yeah, and, like start a career in stand-up comedian.
Real talk. They're like, follow your dreams, but we didn't get to follow ours. We were disciplined and and made it possible for you to fail up. So yeah.
Little did they know when they were in the struggles of it all in the beginning. They're like, this is gonna help my 4-year-old nephew one day.
Tell jokes. Hey man, real talk, man. But like, so
you're still in a standby. You're not.
Yeah, I found a few job openings recently that like I'm really excited about. Yeah. But I am being picky. I'm trying to find something that now I've secured some money from like acting gigs and from this situation with my fam that like I'm not rushing.
Right.
So I'm trying to find something that either is semi-adjacent to the world that I want to be in, being like entertainment, art, or that is rewarding holistically. So like I'm looking at like teaching gigs. I think that's like something that like I feel like I would be giving back to my community. I'm looking at nonprofit spaces and like artwork in general. Those would something in that realm would make me feel good here and would give me enough financially that like I know I can make comedy career choices without having to worry about money, which is really what I'm going after more and more. Right. I want to separate the need for like the comedy to feed me so that way I could just make the cool shit I want to make.
Right. That's smart.
Yeah, we'll see.
I took a job that's comedy adjacent for this Thursday night up at the Hurleyville Performing Arts Center.
Oh, hell yeah.
They asked me to MC this fundraising event. I'm unclear on what exactly it is. I think I'm just introducing different speakers or performers or whatever. And
it's beautiful.
I was like, send me like what the run of show is. They still haven't sent anything. So I have no idea what it's going to be, but I've decided like, it's like, if there's money, I'll do it if it makes sense and it's yeah. So, yeah, it's tough to figure out how to make a career like this work logistically. But
yeah, it's definitely, it's one of those things that you don't, and that's the beauty of life, that like you don't know it doesn't work until you haven't made it work.
Right.
Yeah. When I started, I was like, oh, hell yeah. I see, like, you could be famous and make a living. Nah, like, that's like 15 people.
Yeah.
There's like every comic that is successful that you've heard of, those are the only ones. Like, we know them.
Yeah.
The rest of, you don't know how many funny people are poor.
Who have been on the Tonight Show.
Real talk.
Recently.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Like, yesterday, they're still doing bar shows.
Yeah.
Real talk.
I would like you to start an OnlyFans where it's just you cleaning hats. And you're describing what you're doing in like a sultry voice, like a ASMR style. And OCD, it would be for people with OCD. They could watch you do like a satisfying hat cleaning or sneaker cleaning.
That's not a bad idea.
While you're just like talking to them, and maybe you're not even talking about what you're doing. You're just telling them that everything's going to be okay in a nice voice. Because you read that one question on Reddit on one of our last episodes. I'm like, I could listen to Gastor speak to me like this all day.
Hey, man, you might have inspired. I told you I've wanted to start an OnlyFans. Just like lotioning my calves and my feet.
Oh, there's a market for that.
Real talk. Just like it's been a rough day, and just like lotioning my calves and feet.
I would pay. Would you pay for that? Get on Gastor's OnlyFans.
Why not?
Babe? Only calves.
Only calves, baby.
What kind of lotion are you using?
Lubriderm? I have what's the Bevel? They have like a bunch of like lotion stuff that I use, and then I got my wife has a cocoa butter that, like, I don't know the brand of, but she buys that. That's I use as like an extra. Wow. That's the end of the day. You gotta treat yourself. You know,
just on the calves
and the bottom of my feet.
And you're doing this for circulation or for skin?
For skin, because for years I wore boots, Timberland boots, and all of my sneakers are 90s style. Yeah. So like the technology is a lot better today. Right. But like my sneakers are still kicking my ass. Like they're terrible for your feet. Yeah, so my feet take a beating, and then I've gotten bigger on top of that, so I'm a big dude, a lot of weight on my feet. Yeah, it's
in the job title. You're a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, exactly.
Although you sit a lot.
I sit a lot. You know what I mean? But I sit strategically though. Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't think enough stand-ups think about that. I told you this, right?
Yeah, you're building tension and creating focus.
Because like when you're standing, if you want to emphasize something, you can't stand more. Right. When I'm sitting, if I stand, I'm saying something important.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm adding a move. You took away a move.
I bring a little step ladder out. I get higher and higher as I go.
Eventually, he jumps off into the audience, right? But yeah, I always thought of that. Like when you're standing, what's your move? Right. I could do all the moves you do, but I'm starting sitting so that I can stand.
Maybe it's a little lean in. It's a narrowing of the eyes.
I got more moves because I got the whole game on the chair, and then I still got all the standing stuff too. Yeah. And I can even sit back down. I can reset.
And then you get a hula hoop out.
Yeah. Why not?
Go nuts.
Let's go crazy, baby.
I was going to say one more thing about the OnlyFans.
You encouraged people recently to do OnlyFans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think she's doing it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome, yo. Yeah. That's so dope.
I think she's been posting about it, so it's okay. Yeah, we were all on the same. I had you and Yoshiko Watson on a show, and she was doing bits about doing OnlyFans, and I told her you should start one where you verbally degrade the viewer, because I think OnlyFans. I don't know a lot about it. I think you can make custom videos for an individual. Like an individual could say, like Cameo style. Right. You know that app?
You make a request.
Yeah. So if a guy says, I want you to talk shit about my dumb face, she's so funny. One of the best roasters in New York City. Yeah, I was going to say.
That's why this was specific to Yoshiko thing. She's like legit one of the best roast comics in New York.
And she's stunningly beautiful. And I think she would kill it on there. And I think I don't know if she actually started or not. Maybe we should check it out.
Yoshiko, get that bread, homie.
What the hell was I going to say? It was probably going to be a dud anyway, but whatever. This was another good episode. I have to leave in a little bit to go get my kid from nature camp.
From outside.
on the bicycle. I mean, thank God here we are on November 5th, and it's like
the weather's
80
beautiful.
degrees out. which is insane. Everything's fine. The climate is just fine.
I mean, real talk. I love that this is happening because it increases my argument for staying in New York.
Yeah.
Gabby's whole argument is too cold. It's been less and less cold every year.
You're like, I'm putting sunblock on right
real
now.
Talk. Yo, we in November. No coat. No scarves.
Yeah.
My jacket open. I brought a jacket. I took it off. It was too hot.
Yeah. So she wants out soon.
Yeah, I would say
this is a running conversation.
It's a convo we have every day. It doesn't help that her brother that's in Florida just had a kid born on my birthday, by the way.
Oh wow.
So like, but yeah, like.
Are you October 23rd?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah. But yeah, she I would say realistically she would like to move the second the kids are in college.
Yeah.
Like I think she likes both of their high schools and doesn't want to change that, and they're both doing well. Which
I guess does mean you got to start talking about it now, because we got to talk about it. 2 or 3 years out.
Yeah, it's 3 years out.
Yeah.
So like, you don't just like, buy the crib. You got to discuss that. You got to plan. You know what I mean? It would be a budget change, so we could plan for that move. So yeah, it's a convo.
I think you could rent a room here. Like there must be some random room in some random apartment of your family's.
Yeah.
Like some cousin or auntie can hook you up with a crash pad.
Okay.
Where you can come up, do like a week of shows or whatever, go back to Florida. Because by then you'll be doing more club weekends.
Fair.
Stuff like that. Florida also puts you closer to the cruise ship scene.
Fair.
You're the perfect cruise comic because you can do family friendly. You can do whatever. I'm with Gabby. Go to Florida.
You this episode will be done by this point. Like it'll be edited out, right? Like 5 minutes before this. End the episode. This episode will end with a shout out to Yoshi, okay?
She's not listening, right? Do either of our wives listen?
Nah, Gabby doesn't listen to anything I do comic wise.
Yeah.
She hasn't seen like my TV sets, like nothing.
Oh, that's crazy.
She's only seen me in person, like
well, good for you
for album recordings.
Do you take that personally?
Nah, why? I don't watch her do her job.
Yeah.
Nor do I care to.
Yeah, I think on a good day, I recognize that, and I'm like, yeah, I get that Ross doesn't need to see more of me. But when I'm feeling crummy about myself, I'm like, it'd be kind of nice if she would just like compliment me every now and again.
Yeah, but she does that.
Yeah,
and she comes for the big stuff. Like, she's been to the This Not Happening taping.
Yeah.
She came to my album recording.
Yeah.
I want to say she came to like another thing of that level.
Do you ever run jokes by her? Or like
no, but I've thought of jokes with her.
Yeah.
Like I won't try a joke on her, but like I'll think of like concepts with her. So like I on my Comedy Central set I have that joke about names.
Mm-hmm.
I worked through the concept with her initially before it was ever a joke.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is something that's bothering me.
Yeah.
And I wanted to hear her opinion, or because she's also Latina and like. Names in her world are like interesting from where she's from in another way. So I just wanted to hear other worldviews. So like, she's an equally intelligent but very different thinking person for me.
Right.
So I just like hearing, yo, what do you think about this? And then I'll make it funny. But I don't want to be funny with her in that way because if I fail there, that feels bad for me.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah.
And I don't want her to see, and that's part of honestly why she does it, because like she's come to learn that like funny is to get to the joke is a process.
And it's like it's annoying for them to be like it sucks all the fun out of it to start like
I want her
tinkering.
To like enjoy it. And like
I
don't, and also like for me it's vulnerable. Like I'm not free to like try stuff because if I'm saying stuff and it's not funny, I feel like I'm failing as a husband.
It sucks to bomb in front of your wife.
So she stays away from it. She lets me, like, if I win an award or, like, I do something, like, really exciting. Like, she came to the Don't Tell set. I think I said that. So, like, she's come out for, like, major moments. Like, hey, this is a taping. I'll be there for that. And she enjoys my comedy. But she doesn't enjoy comedy in general. So, why am I putting her through that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Well, then maybe you need to stay in New York as a family so you can build your career. And, there's an argument for that on that side.
Patrick's back, baby.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Peace.